Hi, my name is Jonathan Monaghan, and I'm here in St. Petersburg presenting the largest solo exhibition of my career. And I'm thrilled to be doing it here at Anna Nova Gallery. I came to St. Petersburg over the summer to present a work at the Hermitage Museum. And now I'm back here with this huge, beautiful solo exhibition. I'm thrilled to be here. So all of the works in this exhibition all come from a virtual computer space. Some of them are then created as animations or prints, and in this case it's created as a sculpture. And throughout all of these different mediums, there's a consistency to the themes and imagery. So this is a 3D printed sculpture. So this work was created using computer software and then printed out in plastic. And the form I created is very organic, yet it also is synthetic at the same time. And so it creates a contrast between the natural and the man-made. All the works in this exhibition look at Baroque ornamentation and architecture and Baroque style. And all the works here are very, very decadent, yet a lot of the works here have to do with sort of technology, and it looks at the sort of the decadence of technology today. In this work, I took a lot of the imagery that we might recognize from the surveillance state, like security cameras and other bits of technology. They're sort of emerging, they're sort of being birthed out of this sofa-like material. So here, technology and fabric becomes lifelike and organic. The works you see behind me are from a series called Centuries. So they are printed on the walls as a flat surface. They are like artifacts from an uncertain future. They combine imagery of consumer technology with strange organic fabric forms, and they create these alien-like structures that are like a presence in the gallery space. They're very surreal and otherworldly. So the work behind me is one of the newest works from the series Centuries, and this one has a lot of Baroque imagery. For me, the Baroque era was a very decadent and opulent era, and I'm trying to draw a parallel to our obsessions with technology and consumer culture today to that era of decadence and opulence. And the work aims to examine certain fears or anxieties we have about technology, and also our obsession with consumer and material goods in excess. And the works are very candy-colored, composed of soft, colorful fabrics juxtaposed near these very ambiguous electronic devices. They represent, for me, sort of technology and our relationship to technology today, because we're very obsessed and seduced by technology. The artwork behind me is a piece called Beam Me Up. I made a computer animation, and then I created a sculptural frame to house that digital display. And then in the computer animation, we see sci-fi imagery that is mixed with Baroque architecture and gold ornamentation. It is combining sort of the future and the past to create this new world, so to speak. So this is the main event at Anna Nova Gallery. This is a 3-channel video installation called Out of the Abyss. And I made this work using computer animation, and I took symbols and narratives that we associate with the apocalypse, things like the 4 horsemen. So they are combining imagery from our recognizable consumer culture with these ancient symbols. This is sort of the main area of my artistic practice, is creating these large-scale video installations. This work is about 19 minutes long, and it took me about a year to make. And I made this all by myself using computer animation. I made it just on my computer. The work is a seamlessly looping piece. There's no real start or stop. There's no beginning or end. The pieces go continuously. And so the work is surreal and dreamlike and kind of funny at times, but it has some serious undertones about the unsustainability of our current situation. So also at Anna Nova Gallery, I'm exhibiting a series of work from 2017 called Police State Condo. And in this series, we see make-believe imagined spaces that depict what we call like a penthouse, like this high-end apartment. And in this apartment, there is technology that is very ambiguous and a little scary. And there's a lot of elements that you recognize from the surveillance state, such as security cameras and TSA security checkpoints, and a lot of gold as well. So this is another work from the series Police State Condo, and in this one I created a kind of like an evil eye in the middle of the work, and I used 3D printing to create these gold forms. And so you have these gold decorative forms here that seem a little scary. They seem like teeth or something organic, yet there's also Baroque elements in there. And so it's combining these sort of very artificial, very decorative materials and aesthetics with imagery that feels very organic and lifelike. So this is another work from the series Police State Condo, and in this one we see this strange sort of spacecraft hovering in this interior space, and it kind of looks like a Fabergé egg. And on top of it we see what we call in the US like a bike share, which is a sort of a community bike thing that you rent, and these are popping up in cities all over in the US, and I think it's kind of a funny thing to include onto here because it's kind of unexpected. And so with all of my work, I take these very ordinary symbols and imagery from our everyday consumer culture, and I mix them with these historical symbols to create something sort of otherworldly. And so it's alien yet familiar at the same time. And in this piece we see a kind of a strange spaceship-like form that's hovering in this interior space with the New York City skyline behind it. And in this work I mixed the sort of virtual imagery that's created as a two-dimensional print with these very sculptural gold elements. And so it creates like this strange effect where it blurs the boundaries between the physical and the virtual spaces. The designs of these frames are influenced by different sort of symbols and badges of power, like altarpieces or heraldry like coats of arms. And also on here we see these 3D printed golden ornaments that I created to ornament the frame. So in all of these Police State Condo works, I'm imagining these spaces. I grew up in New York City, and so I'm imagining these spaces as like these high-rise apartments that hover over Manhattan. This is a computer animation called Disco Beast from 2016. And I made this work by looking at historical depictions of unicorns in Western art. And so in this animation we follow a psychedelic unicorn through these very recognizable commercial spaces like a Starbucks or an empty shopping mall.